Cool.
I decided actually just thinking meditating upon because we have one gem diamond there, Rashishika Pro, and there's another mini diamond. There's Radhashankar. The pure high class personalities actually
Yes, cool.
carry Krishna in their heart. They are a very loyal servant of Srila Prabhupada. So, really very thankful.
Every moment is for Krishna, bro. Maximize Krishna time, minimize my time. I don't
To-
think any moment he has when he's not working for Krishna actively.
I also wrote him one similar thing that Prabhuji, your maturity, your devotion, your wisdom, your purity, and your service attitude. These only give us conviction that yes, the six Goswamis existed.
Yes.
Honestly, like Prabhuji's sense control and Prabhuji's realization, his knowledge. I have no words to such a principled person, and Krishna has blessed him with the art of respecting, valuing, and empowering the devotees, giving them so much encouragement and clear direction, clear vision. So just thanking him. Like just after he left there to Chicago, so uh, I thought I would catch his flight. Then I just wrote. He also wrote to me. Thank you for uh, having so much enthusiasm to take the conversation. Okay, let's begin. So last time we had discussed that half of the tale of two disciples.
Yes.
We continue the other half today. So just give me half an hour. So I hope everyone remembers we had discussed the lessons from Ramachandra Puri. Today we'll discuss the lessons from. Uh,
Ramchandra and
okay.
Acyuta.
Oh, we discussed lessons from Ramachandra Puri only, right? Last time.
Yeah, I think so, bro. Which what we should not do.
Today we discuss lessons from Ishwara Puri.
Yes, bro.
Okay. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरतुषे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण so Prabhu, I need that screen sharing thing. So we'll just go through first couple of minutes and just read through the six lessons we saw last time, and then we will read and discuss the further lessons from Ishvara Puri's part. So let's, yeah. I hope now the screen is visible to you. So the first lesson, yeah, any of you would like to read? These were that we had discussed last time. I'm just we're just taking a recap.
Yes, Prabhuji. First, a sincere, aspiring devotee should avoid finding fault with devotees and criticizing them, particularly the Guru. This
Yeah,
is a poisonous action.
yeah,
Find
I think sufficient. So this was the first lesson that how this is very very detrimental to our spiritual progress. So we should try to avoid fault findings with Vaishnavas, especially with one's superiors or spiritual master. Hmm. Yeah. Then
Second, all disciples are not equal. They may take initiation at the same time, but their levels of sincerity, surrender, obedience, desire, and respect differ. As the representative of Lord Krishna, the Guru is the instrument of both blessings and rebukes.
yeah. So all disciples are not equal. They it's not like I we came together on the same day, first program we attended in our life. That's why we are like equal devotees, or that's why we both will go back to God. It's not like that. It's totally an individual thing. Srila Prabhupada writes in Nectar of Instructions, Upadeshamrit Introduction, that the advancement in Krishna consciousness depends upon the attitude of the follower. So, so therefore, one has to keep kind of taking a feedback for oneself. One has to keep observing oneself. Uh, one has to keep uh, one has to be very alert actually. Hmm. That am I following the process properly, like that. Then third,
anybody online would you like to read? You can unmute yourself.
Third, the tender plant of devotion can be destroyed quickly by offending one's guru. Such an offense offends the Supreme Lord.
yeah. So whenever we make an offense to Guru or to any Vaishnava, actually even to any living entity, basically to the degree that person is dear to Krishna, to that degree Krishna gets offended actually. So then the tender creeper of our devotional service that gets affected. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called him in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called this in Chaitanya Charitamrita as the Hati Mata Aparad, which means when you are trying to grow some crop in a field. So if a mad elephant comes, rushes there and he just crushes your plant, you know, then even though you have grown it with so much care, attention, with so many of the inputs, yet the whole thing will be destroyed. Like that. Yeah. Fourth, yeah, anyone?
Fourth, when a devotee offends another devotee, especially his or her guru, or does not repent or rectify the offense, the door is opened for more and greater offenses.
Yeah. So sin as well as offense, they have this. So one thing is it brings reaction, and more problem is it brings the further tendency to sin or offend. Hmm. So that is called kutam. Bijam is a specific desire to do a sin. Okay, I want to rob this bank. When I rob the bank, or when I rape a woman, so what happens is one thing is it brings some reaction, so I suffer misery. And another thing is that is called papam. Okay, bijam, when you apply an action, it leads to papam. Okay, and papam is one reaction. Another reaction it brings kutam. Kutam is the inclination to do sin again, the inclination to do an offense again. That increases, and that is a bigger problem because then again I do an offense or sin, then again the reaction comes, and again the tendency to sin or offend increases. So it's a vicious cycle. very, very vicious cycle. So therefore, a person is unable to get out. So then he needs, a lot of knowledge and enlightenment, and he also needs inspiration. He also needs support, the mercy factor of guru and devotees. Then he is able to come out of it. Therefore, it's best not to get into that cycle. Okay. And then fifth,
Fifth, we should associate with persons dedicated to Krishna and devotional service. Such persons try to serve others with humility and kindness, and their company is beneficial, drawing out similar qualities in us.
yeah. So therefore, the association should be there with such people, so that just like you associate with Vaisheshika Prabhu or Radhesham Prabhu, you can immediately see it's like, it's like just going out in the torrential rains, and you just totally get wet in few moments only. Because these guys are loaded with bhakti. These guys are loaded with purity. These guys are loaded with desire to serve, desire to distribute books, and then you also get that. Okay, yeah, the last one.
Sixth, a disciple should thoughtfully and carefully respect his or her guru's god brothers and god sisters, who are as venerable as the guru. Even if a disciple thinks that their instructions are improper, the disciple should show Vaishnav etiquette and not criticize them.
Right. So this you can easily see this with this illustrated example of Ramachandra Puri. Ramachandra Puri, he actually did not value the teachings of his guru Madhavendra Puri, and in fact he was trying to tell him a totally different and opposite suggestion, that why don't you chant, why don't you remember Brahman, you know. So his spiritual master, we can only imagine how much frustrated he must be. So that's what the story showed. So we had discussed up to here. Now let us go for the second part of today's, which are lessons from Ishwarapuri. So Ishwarapuri was the blessed disciple, or who was a positive disciple. So he, if you may remember that he served his spiritual master very, very menially. He was willing to clean the body of Srimad Vendrapuri. He was willing to help him remember Krishna by chanting the glories of gopis and Krishna. He was helping him to remember Vrindavan. And he was very humble. He considered himself very fortunate to get to serve Srimad Vendrapuri. And Madhavendra Puri considered himself very happy. He was very happy. He considered himself very um, very fortunate to have such a disciple. In fact, he respected and valued the devotional service of his own disciple. We find in seventh canto, Sri Narad Muni is glorifying like anything Prahlad Maharaj. The entire story is actually a narration by Narad Muni about Prahlad Maharaj. And it's brilliant how Narad Muni is, in fact, giving example of Prahlad Maharaj in several other places. Although he himself is the spiritual master of Prahlad Maharaj. But that is because he truly valued him as a devotee. Sometimes it happens like a preacher in Krishna consciousness, he is amazed by the qualities, by the attitude displayed by some younger person who's like was come new to the program through him. But because the devotional service is a very individual and a very uh, independent phenomenon, So it's if a devotee, it's like Srila Prabhupada, Abhay Charan, he was brought by Narendra, his friend, after he himself attended and kind of met Bhakti Sangha Thakur. He was very impressed. So when he took Abhay went where? Narendra remained there only. So there are many examples like that. In Hindi they say, Guru good re gaya, chela chini ho gaya, which means the sugar cane juice, and first it gets transformed to jaggery. Okay, and then the jaggery with some process gets transformed into sugar. So like they say that the spiritual master remained jaggery only, which means he crossed one milestone only, and the disciple went up to being sugar. Like he was supposed to be coming behind, but So it is very much an individual thing. That's why we cannot judge a devotee by his like time duration which he has spent in ISKCON or in association. We cannot judge a devotee based on his ashram. Okay, we cannot judge a devotee based on the number of verses he knows or the post he holds, within the institution. So it is his devotional service with Krishna that is, that will only be in time to come. It is, we can see by how the eternal parameters are there, like in NOD, which is Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. These parameters are discussed actually. What are the mukhya lakshan, Rupa Goswami says, and what are the gauna lakshan? So gaunam is tangential lakshan. So they are not, they may be there, they may not be there in a true devotee, in a sincere devotee. If they are there, fine, they are very good. It's not like they should not be there. If they are there, very good. But even if they are not there, we cannot judge. Okay. For example, you may find some great souls sometimes while they are chanting the holy name in the morning, they may be feeling a little tired. Okay. No, that does not mean they are not great devotees. Or sometimes one is doing management or one is doing a heavy seva like kitchen seva, and he may have some exchange between the seva. That does not show his devotional service. Okay. So or sometimes when there is sankirtan, so a devotee may not be having like romancha kampa exactly like that, all the hairs are standing on end, may not be. And you will find a very young devotee, he may be like, oh, very very so uh, but we can see the consistency and the deep satisfaction which a very senior devotee may be having. So inside his heart is very romanchit or excited, or very, very truly satisfied. You know, we have in Boston, this proper disciple, His Grace Mukta Bandya Prabhu. My goodness, if you just be in his association. So he's not a very charismatic or a very knowledgeable or very well-read kind of person. I mean, he is very good devotee, and you can truly see his substance. When he's just performing simple limbs of devotion service, and you can see like morning, he's there every day, 4:30. You know, and the way he greets the deities and all, you know, and just like whether he's alone, whether somebody is there, you can truly see like that. It takes one to know one. They say, na, only an expert can really know. So therefore, Rupa Goswami says that one should know. Just like just before beginning the class, Kautukarna bro was telling me that this Radhesham Prabhu I saw, he doesn't waste a moment, because when a devotee truly values Krishna and when he truly values the opportunity to do devotional service, when he's able to see that as the greatest good fortune in his life, he knows the value of time because each and every moment he can use in Krishna service. So that is one of the symptoms, which are the core symptoms, not mukhya symptoms, not gauna. What is that mukhya symptom? Avyartha kalatva. Each and every moment. Means this does not mean he'll not honor prasad or he'll not go to washroom or he'll not take rest. He knows like you can't avoid that. But I mean, in general, he'll not just while away the time. Even some time spent in a friendly way with devotees helps to build relationships and bonds, which helps to practice Krishna consciousness. Some time spent to collect some funds or do our duties in this world. So they need to be done. But just unnecessarily, just whiling away the time, that at least the devotee would not be happy to do it. So this avyartha kalatvam, that's a symptom, clear cut symptom of a uh, sincere devotee. Okay, like that. So now let us see Ishwarapuri's like the lessons from Ishwarapuri's example. Okay. Yeah. Somebody would like to read.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. I can read,
Pranam,
Prabhuji.
Pro.
Hare Krishna. Uh, First, the disciple should care for the Guru like a menial servant. This attitude guarantees success in spiritual life. The disciple should carefully serve the Guru's Vani instructions, and if the opportunity arises, the Guru's Vapu body.
Yeah, thank you. Hare Krishna, it seems we have Sundaranand also. Prabhuji, Dhanvat, Pranams. We are so honored to have you. and I heard you. I don't know how you arrange the program so greatly in Stanford. Like so many students, boys and girls, they came there. So just brilliant. In fact, Radheshyam like floating in the air. He was telling, you should have a exclusive BYS next to Stanford and this and that. I was also telling, yes, Puji, as soon as possible, eventually we should just see that consistency also. Some of the students coming, but, he was very, very happy. So thank you, Sundaram. Okay. So, so this lesson, it says that a disciple should care for the guru like a menial servant. See, what is the meaning of a menial servant? Menial servant means he is not in focus. The entire focus is like guru is the master. So in whatever way, see, menial does not necessarily mean that we are always doing cleaning, like brooming, mopping. We are always, putting things in their right place. We are always like washing the clothes and whatever, doing the laundry or doing the gardening. Not necessarily there. Menial means I am willing to take any role, go up, go down, or be whatever, for the service of Guru. It's like I am willing to adjust in any way. That is the meaning of humility. Just like you see a river just flows. Okay, like if any obstacle comes, the river does not complain or just start fighting against the obstacle. Just adjusts. Kunti Maharani, he says, but it's very determined to go to the ocean, its destination. Similarly, a humble devotee or a menial servant, he will not say, "Hey, I am an MBA, so I came and you should give me like some temple presidentship or some managership or something." No, just like you see, Jiva Goswami, he was so learned. He was the greatest scholar ever, in Kali Yuga, which is like the world has seen. Okay, or Radhika Ramanto, no? I think you guys know him. He comes often there. So he did his PhD on half of the verse, uh, half of one verse written by Rupa Goswami, and Rupa Goswami has written 4 lakh such verses. So he was telling to one devotee that Prabhu, at least 8 lakh or 800,000 PhDs are minimum 800,000 PhDs are definitely hidden within the revealed compositions of Jiva Goswami. Just telling, what must be there in the writings of these acharyas. We have. So the idea is that menial servant means I am willing to be anything. Because this Jiva Goswami was so scholarly. He was filled with so much devotion, so much qualities. And this Jiva Goswami, for like I heard 1 year, some people say 2 years, whatever. But for a good amount of time, he was serving Rupa Goswami in the beginning when like he came to Vrindavan, sent by, like inspired by Lord Chaitanya. So he was assisting Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. He would collect the Tamra Patras and all for writing of Rupa and Sanatan. Okay. He would cook for them. He would clean the area where they were staying. He would put those cow dung like on the wall and on the floor and all. You must have seen in India this kind of village setting, especially Vrindavan side and all. And he would wash the clothes. He would take care of the garden. He would attend the guests if someone comes. Okay. So he would get the milk from the cows. Just like now we may say, it's a very inefficient way of engaging such a personality. Yeah, that's our way of looking at it. So he was very much delighted to actually be a servant. So unless one is a servant, you know, unless that common denominator of being a servant is there, uh, any other role in service, that will not be done in a servant mode. So you see all the rasas, na, the 5 primary and the 7 secondary rasas in the spiritual world in Golok Vrindavan. The actual denominator, the actual foundation is that they are all in dasya bhava only. And then there is a flavor added. Just like you see any cake or take any ice cream. Any cake has a base, okay, which has those same ingredients. And then the icing may be different. The design, the the flavor, the color. Okay, if you take any ice cream, so there is that basic substance. Okay, what makes it ice cream, and then you may have like vanilla or chocolate or whatever, cranberry and blackberry or blueberry, whatever the flavor may be. But ice cream, when you say ice cream, there is some basic, some fundamental things which make it an ice cream. The same thing with the cake, right? Same thing with the music. There is sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa or whatever they call in the West. There's that basic thing, and then there may be some kind of arrangement of them which may make it a particular type of music. But music is music. Similarly, you see, uh, when we say menial servant, so the idea is that first he's a servant. So he doesn't like, I should be doing this seva only or so so he just loves to serve the Guru or the Supreme Lord Krishna. That is the idea. So really everybody's seva is same only. Prabhu speaks in one lecture. What is a seva? Seva is to make sure that Krishna is satisfied. Krishna is pleased. Now the form of seva is a detail. That is called a menial servant. One time, and Raisham Prabhu sent me here in UP, Uttar Pradesh, India. So I was asking Raisham Prabhu, how do you want me to serve and all? So he wrote one email, my God, that was so heavy, Heavy in the sense, loaded with. So one thing he wrote, you should be, actually, I don't remember what happened. Something happened and, some of my superiors, so they were telling this thing, that another thing. So I was like little wondering, what I'm supposed to. It's so difficult to like just change over all the time. So then I was asking Radheshampu. He said, you know, you should be willing to change 1 million times a day if your superior asks. Oh, 1 million times a day. So my God. That's convenience servant actually. Of course, I'm nowhere like 1 million times. I've not tested also like that, but and that's the attitude. Like so, the point is, I'm here to serve. So I'm not here to achieve certain thing. But yeah, part of service is to achieve. That's there. If our job profile is that. So another thing he was telling, who are you? I said, who am I? So he said, you are XYZ Das Das. XYZ Das was my superior there in that place. So he said, you are not Achyut Mohan Das. You are XYZ Das Das. Oh, okay. Like that. So, you know, so now then I was asking myself, why will I serve this person, with this much sincerity? Yeah, because I want to serve Radheshampru or my spiritual master, because they are telling me to serve him. So it's like he would always tell me this analogy of an Indian girl getting married. So he would say that like when a girl gets married, so if she is truly a good daughter of the father or the mother, that comes out in being a very good wife and mm, assistant to that family or that husband. I said, yeah, that's so like that. So menial servant actually. So we can see with the example of Ishwarapuri. Mm. I can tell you a very personal realization. Uh, I mean, it's a material example, but it makes a lot of sense. So it was like few years back when my father, he I mean, unfortunately had an accident. It was quite an extreme one. There was a guy going into a Benz and like in front of my home and in our hometown, and he was like really like speeding up. In India, there is no such speed limit and all, so people cross it all the time, whatever. So my father is a simple guy. He was going on a two-wheeler, simple scooter, like if you understand that. So and this is some young guy who going with that, and he just so my father actually had this event like this in the air, and vehicle got destroyed on me. And he when he fell down, so he fell down on his right shoulder. So his entire like this thing, there were like hundreds of cracks. Cracks means like bone really, was shattered actually totally. So they had to then he was operated a few times, and there were a lot of things put up inside, a lot of screws and all. So for a few months he was like kind of uh, kind of physically invalid. Like he couldn't do anything. Literally couldn't do anything. He couldn't even scratch anywhere. He couldn't much move most of the parts of his body because the vibrations go and all. He has to be bathed. He has to be fed, and in Indian summer, he has to be like. I mean, you sweat. There are all the things. Even if you have to move, you have to rub you or something. You have to like anything. You know, pass urine or you have to eat. So somebody has to do it, but we're not getting anyone, any proper person also. And in family also, either they were not willing to do it or they didn't have time to do it. So then I went, as a son, and so I went for that few months, and I was there like just my service was only to do my basic sadhana, and then just to serve him. And he became like so happy, so happy. Like he practically his whole life, I think he'll not. So I was remembering that time this Madhavendra Puri exam. So so it's not like about like you may pay someone a lot of money and he may also do it, but that's not the point actually. The point is the attitude is also involved, how one is doing. So Ishwara Puri had all those qualities, Sarvaguna Sampanna. He was considering himself very fortunate to do it, you know, and he was doing it like he would really wanted to please. He was doing it in a way that it pleases Madhavendra Puri. And while doing it, he was like helping Madhavendra Puri in every other way, like reminding him of Krishna, of Vrindavan. Okay. So, and he was doing it with all purity. Mm. So that's what makes it very special. Even if somebody makes some prasad for you, like, but when he makes it specially for you, like, that makes it really special. Like, okay, this, like Prabhupada went to the West in the age of 70, and he established and all. There are many other people who did that. One time, this BBC channel had this the greatest entrepreneurs of the modern times, the 20th century, who beyond the age of 70 established a worldwide organization. And they had this top 10 people like all over the world. And one of them was Prabhupada. Now, according to them, he was just like one big entrepreneur, beyond the age of 70 who did this. Like they had some parameters and they glorified Prabhupada also. So many, okay, okay, very nice. But what makes Prabhupada very, very special? What? Because others were doing it for themselves. Prabhupada's attitude for whom he was doing, and I mean for the people, like for his disciples or for all the people of the world, and under whose instruction he was doing. So it's like, there's no ego only. He's following someone else's instruction. And it was so difficult. He didn't have any kind of background or any kind of, and for whom he was doing. Okay. And to what great lengths he went to do it. What level of personal sacrifices he had. And there was no personal gain at all. And he was not having any holidays or something. And he kept doing till his last breath. So it is that attitude it is that consciousness which makes it very special. Very special. A waiter in a restaurant may give you some things, okay, you pay some money. But a mother, you come to your simple home in some narrow street of India in a small town, not even a proper sewage there, but you go to your home and it may be just sitting on the ground and your mother may be just giving you a very basic two items, but with a lot of affection. That makes it's very special. Why is it special? So Ishwara Puri had both, the form as well as the spirit, and that's what made it very special. So that's what is given here, that the disciple should care for the guru like a menial servant. Now, caring for the master also means caring for three more things. Okay, this is a very important thing. Loving the guru also means loving three more things. You know what are they? First is really loving guru means loving his values. If we love master but not his values and teachings, then that's not loving the master. Really loving the master is loving his values and teachings. Second is loving the mission of the master also. So, like loving Srila Prabhupada means loving ISKCON. Prabhupada said ISKCON is my body, never leave ISKCON. So, and Prabhupada said, I live through my books. I'm living in my books for the next 10,000 years. So loving Guru means loving his mission also. So like now Radhesham Prabhu. So many people now sometimes they say, oh Prabhu is very dear to Radhesham Prabhu is very close. People say such thing, Are there is a lot of weight also attached to it. There's a lot of level of anxiety also. You have to really love the mission, and there is, you know, and you have to have the submission towards the mission. Yeah. Then there is third thing, which is loving Guru or loving Krishna also means loving those who are dear to him. So why would a wife um, love and go um, go out of the way to serve the family members of her husband? Why? Like they've not done anything, but because they are dear to her husband, so she tries like everything. She gives them respect. She cooks for them. She attends to them, and she kind of tries to satisfy them. Why? Because they're dear to her husband, and because the husband is dear to her. Right? Similarly, when you love Krishna, you love his devotees. In America, they say, "Love me, love my dog," right? Like that, something like that. So, so like that. So you can see here, like Ishwar Puri had. So further, it says that this attitude guarantees success in spiritual life. So there is a statement which Prabhupada has said many places that the secret of success in spiritual life lies in the satisfaction of the bona fide spiritual master. So this is the attitude actually, which because this invokes the blessings of Krishna, and when Krishna's blessings are there, that's the very substance, that's the very essence, that is the goal, and that brings everything, in our Krishna consciousness. Okay. And another thing which is mentioned here is that the disciple should serve both Guru's Vani as well as Vapu. Like here, Ishwarapuri specifically served the Guru's Vapu, the body. So some people have this understanding and they preach it also very heavily. That service means serving the Vani only. No, Vani is the primary thing. Why? Because Vani is eternal. The Vapu means the body of the Guru or the form, the external personality. And Vani means his teachings or his instructions or his mission, his service, which he gives, like, open the temple or do these college programs or do this book distribution or whatever, maybe the given service. At the same time, like Guru teaches you to chant Hare Krishna, so that's a Vani thing. Okay, so you are doing that. Guru has taught that while living in your family, you also worship the deities. So you're doing that, and you do it beyond the Guru's physical presence also in your life. Okay, at the same time, serving Gurus or Vaishnavas Vapu also is a very important thing. Why? Because if we are truly a servant, we don't just like use the Guru. Okay, he has given me instructions, his job is done. No, I don't care for the Vapu. No, Prabhupada even was very sensitive. He saw that do my disciples really love me and value me? So if they are putting my photo upside down just casually while cleaning the temple, that means they're not loving me. If they are if there is a room of Srila Prabhupada and there's a disciple is casually treating it as just another room, then that's not the right attitude. Like in South India, in Tamil Nadu, in Srirangam, one time this Ramanujacharya, the great Acharya of Sri Sampradaya, so there was this servant of Ramanujacharya called Govinda, personal servant. So he was preparing like milk for him, which taken by him in the night, and he was preparing the bed for him and all. So he was actually like what he was doing is uh, he was stepping on to the not stepping on. I mean, he was just lying on the bed after making the bed, and he was sleeping for a few minutes, and then he got up, and then so other dude was saying, "What are you doing? This is this is supposed to be for a." I mean, like so he said, I don't mind even if it is offense, I don't mind, but my guru should get very good rest. So how will I know that this bed is proper? So actually, I mean, this is high class. Ramanacharya was so pleased with it. Of course, this is not the only lesson here. I mean, like one can always, you know, try to do it without having to do that. But the idea is that this is the the spirit is taught that the Vapu Seva, because if you really value that person, then you value his vapu also. Mhm. Okay. Another thing is it gives a lot of memories for the disciple, for the devotee. A lot of memories. Like when you do deity worship also, it's very special. We may say we are following Bhagavad Dharma and all. That's right. But actually one gets absorbed in, that yeah, here is Krishna. Because we are neophytes, or we are having bodily consciousness in general, like in Kali Yuga especially. So therefore, the worship of the deities, along with the Bhagavad Dharma of Shravanam, Kirtanam, and Smaranam, and preaching and all, along with that, the deity worship, the festivals, along with the Vaishnavas, that also matters a lot. It actually gives you a lot of absorption directly in the personality of God. So to have memories which we can cherish about the great souls, about the Shiksha Guru, about the Diksha Guru are very vital. So simple exchanges like serving prasadam, like you find the song of the spiritual world, no? Radha Krishna Prana Mora Yugala Kishora. I'm sure you must have heard this famous Vaishnav song in our sampradaya. So ahead, this song says, Gathiya malati mala dibo dohar gale. It says that I'll make a beautiful garland of flowers and tulasi, and then I'll place it in the lotus feet of Sri Shri Radha and Krishna. I'm sorry. Sometimes men have that thing, they say, what this service this Matas are doing? Simply making garlands on. What is the big deal? Okay, you make, sit down every day, 3-4 hours and make, you will not be able to make. That is the beauty of Varnashram. You know, somebody may say, what this Brahmana is doing? Simply studying the scriptures and giving class. So you do, not be able to do. Actually, just like this fingers, or like what is a hand job, what is so this is a very special thing actually. Some people they think, what the brahmachari is doing, simply just morning, evening, Hare Krishna, doing kirtan only. We are collecting the funds, we are managing, we are doing the legal things. Yeah, that's fine. That is also valuable. That's also, and sometimes brahmachari may think, I am a devotee. This guy is simply money, money only all the time. No, it's not like that. So to be able to value, and especially it becomes tough to value simple services. Like we don't understand its value because we don't understand it's pleasing to Krishna. That is direct devotional service. We cannot do fund collection in spiritual world. We cannot do preaching in spiritual world. We cannot do book distribution in spiritual world. किसको करेंगे भाई सबको? I mean, to whom you will do, everyone knows. Everyone loves Krishna directly, So you cannot do counseling also. Who's counseling? So actually, I mean, one has to eternally love this. One time, His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj was giving this class in Chowpatty, and after the class, so some disciples, some senior devotees went. I was fortunately sitting in that class, like right in the front, so I got this access where some 4 or 5 seniors they just came after the class and they were like sitting just next to the Vyasasan, like on the ground, and Maharaj on the Vyasasan, and there was this table. So they were appreciating Maharaj, very nice class, Gaurang was telling, I really loved this example, this personality you told, and Rashambru told, you now I understood the essence of that verse which you mentioned and all. Like they were all glorifying. Then Maharaj said, "Oh, what class can I give? I'm a college dropout. You guys are IIT and all this." So Maharaj said, I heard your classes. Your classes are so systematic, so many examples, so much data, and Maharaj said some of the things like, you have all these training programs and workshops. I'm a college dropout. I was a hippie. Maharaj said, I was born on a very inauspicious day, 7th December. It is in American history. I don't know, some kind of war thing, or some Japanese war or something. So Maharaj said, what do I know? You guys, very good. Then they were saying, no, 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 Maharaj. Actually, they were very happy to hear, like, Maharaj actually glorified very nicely. So then they got kind of like, because everyone wants like to see Guru satisfied. So they were, and then they were very happy. Then Maharaj said, but to go to the spiritual world, this will not help. IIT degree. Maharaj said, to go to this. Actually, Maharaj said in the first answer, na, when they were glorifying, Maharaj said, I am a simple cowherd boy. What do I know? I was in New Vrindavan milking cows. Okay. I just know like simple thing like cooking, making garlands and milking the cows. And I was roaming in the forest of Vrindavan. But I am not, I didn't do much. You guys are IIT and all. Then he said, in the end, that, but you know what? Like to go to the Goloka, to go to spiritual world, these things will, you know, there you have to milk the cows, you have to make the garlands, So, so you guys need to change. Of course, they are glorious. Maharaj is glorious. It's just a beautiful exchange. What Maharaj was trying to teach in that simple exchange was that the eternal things, the eternal services are very simple. And that's what, the point is not simplicity, the depth of love. That is the whole substance. So they just want to see Krishna happy. It doesn't even matter if Krishna is happy through me. Radharani says, it's given in Antalila, that the pinnacle of devotion, that the highest form of devotion, why is Sri Radha glorified? Even amongst the gopis, and the gopis are considered the highest pedestal of devotional service, even amongst the Vrindavan Vasis, amongst all the 12 rasas. And Vrindavan itself is considered the highest place within the Mathura Mandal. Mathura Mandal itself is considered the highest place within the entire creation. So if Sri Radha is the epitome, the very personification of pure devotional service, the very source of any love which any jiva has for Krishna, and this Radharani, what is the special quality about her? And what is that? What is that ultimate love which Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give? The Mahabhava of Radharani. What is that? What is that? What is that last conclusion of Sri Anta Leela also? So there, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami said that Radharani, she says to Krishna, my dear Govinda, my dear Madhava, my dear Gopal, if another gopi gives you more pleasure, then I will do anything to get that gopi to serve. I will go to her home. I'll request her. I'll pay flat obeisances to her. I'll worship her. I'll serve her. But I'll just that Krishna is more pleased if you serve him. Please come. Because for her, the only thing which matters is Krishna is pleased. Not even that Krishna is pleased with my devotional service. Krishna is pleased. That's it. The sentence gets over there. That is called pure devotional service. Krishna should be satisfied. He may not even know that I exist. So, I mean, no, envy is like, not even discussed here. This is beyond, way beyond, Now, the way, to the degree it looks simple, to that degree it is sublime. That's the beauty of it. So, similarly, here we see Ishwara Puri. He was not looking for that my spiritual master should bless me with the next post, or he should make me the next Acharya, or he should give me the secrets, or things like that. Nothing actually. Srila Prabhupada, he actually honestly for him what mattered is that like when he reached San Francisco first time, 1967 it was, I suppose. So 66 he established ISKCON in New York. And when he went to the West Coast, so I mean this Adinath Krishna Prabhu and other devotees there, Kautukanappa, and mercifully took me to that those places. So now also I remember like that hippie hill. So actually when Prabhupada went there, so His Holiness Satsuru Maharaj describes that Prabhupada was so pleased when he heard the Hare Krishna Kirtans. Like when he was just descending from the stairs, from his terminal. And Prabhupada, how this Kirtan sound is coming from where? Later on, Prabhupada said, I didn't even step here till now in San Francisco. Already Kirtan is there. How come? And he saw like so many hippies or Americans, boys and girls, young, chanting Hare Krishna, with all their beard, all kinds of crazy stuff. Some of them are acid heads and tattoos. But for Prabhupada, that didn't exist. Prabhupada was like, Hare Krishna. Oh, and then he came to know there's Mukunda and Janaki and there's Sham Sundar and Malati, and because they got Krishna consciousness and because they just came here and just in few days they just got all these people that chant. because Swamiji likes the chant of Hare Krishna. Prabhupada was so pleased. It didn't matter to him who they were, how they got, and what they were wearing, how they were appearing. They had this thing, and Prabhupada was like, Lord Chaitanya must be so pleased. Prabhupada wrote from that hostel in New York where he was staying for a couple of days, I believe. No, not couple of days, couple of months, where his typewriter also got stolen by that watchman. Prabhupada couldn't do anything. So Prabhupada writes that today is Gaur Purnima. He writes in his diary, his personal diary. You must have read about that. So today is Gaur Purnima, 1966. But today is Janmashtami. I forgot which festival he writes about. I think Gaur Purnima. So today is a great festival for all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas there. And I'm so far away from Sridham Mayapur in this remote place called New York. See, Prabhupada, he's telling Sridham Mayapur is like standard place and New York is remote place. I mean, any person will laugh at it. Even in India, how many people even today know Sridham Mayapur? Even today, people don't know. That time, when I first time heard amongst devotees Mayapur, I thought, "Hey, they keep calling hill names to Maya. Then they say Mayapur is the highest place. What is this? You know, I was totally confused. You know, I thought I'm hearing it wrong or what. So, but this is what Prabhupada. So for Prabhupada, Krishna should be pleased. See, same attitude is there. That the the whole factor is it doesn't even matter. Like what do I get or what do doesn't matter. I have seen like Antadipu one time. There was a very important devotee leader, and he got very displeased with Radhesham Prabhu. So some decision. And there was some misunderstanding managerially, but there was quite a major misunderstanding, and it was leading to a lot of sparks and fumes. Okay, like few years back, almost like 13 years back. So this devotee was very powerful and a very senior one. So I saw Antadip Prabhu, and I learned so much from him actually. You know what he did? For that managerial misunderstanding, actually Antadip Prabhu took that blame upon himself. Even till today, that devotee thinks, that this Antadip Prabhu did this. Because Antadip Prabhu thought that, for the community and for this devotee as well as for Radhesham Prabhu, for the service of Krishna, it's very important that, you know, that he doesn't uh, like blame or become like you understand like with the leader or with his spiritual inspiration that should not be there, and like nobody knows this. Probably I think only two of us know this. I mean, other than Antodip Prabhu, because I was there involved in that scene, and Prabhu was like, I was so touched actually. I have seen like in this winter camps, last winter camp, Prabhu was having this like there were this some young devotees are asking some questions and all. So this group was of those who want to join full time Brahmacharya ashram. So amongst the youth, so there's some question answers and all. So they were asking questions, what about this, what about that. So he was giving answers in too much encouraging, like too much, okay, fine, very liberal kind of. So I was he was Raisham told me also to be there. So like we were answering together. So I was being little, so then I was asking the Prabhuji, why you are being so liberal, like too liberal, why you are giving. He said, didn't you hear last 3 4 days, all the classes Radheshampu's mood was quite and more encouraging and more liberal. So we should just then he just said this much. I understood, because he always gives this example of like we should be like a wife to the husband when we're serving a superior or the leader or our spiritual master. So I remember, yes, just like Devahuti was to Kardama. Prabhupada writes their beautiful purports actually. My goodness. So one time he showed me this trick that you just uh, copy those purports in Word file, and then you do a replace, find and replace. Find wife or Devahuti and then replace with disciple. And then you read those purport. Oh my goodness. So actually this Ishwarapuri, the example which is displaying, the character which is displaying here is just superb. Superb. So Vapu and Vani, both for the pleasure of the spiritual master, nothing else, for the pleasure of Krishna. Why to please the spiritual master? Why to serve him? Because he's such a intimate, such a loyal devotee of Krishna. He loves Krishna. So Krishna is the main factor here. Krishna is the absolute truth. And because the Guru, the Vaishnava loves Krishna. He is such a good devotee of Krishna. So it doesn't matter what his age is, what his ashram is, whether it's Indian or American, whether it's whoever. But if I please, if I serve, then we become dear to Krishna, and Krishna gets pleased. So Krishna loves this guy, and this guy is dear to Krishna. Then so that's the attitude which Ishwar Puri is you know exhibiting here. I'm sorry, our 1 hour already got over, and we could discuss only first lesson. But I think it's worth to, anyways. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you so much for giving us so many examples. Jeev Goswami, Ishwar Puri, serving a spiritual master like a wife. I like that example which you mentioned when if you are a good daughter of a father, then when you go to somebody else, like somebody else's house, you serve the husband very nicely. That shows that you care for the spiritual master or your father. That is very striking actually for me. And how you mentioned, how do you care for the spiritual master, loving living his values, whatever values he should, you live those values, and also expanding his mission, and also caring for and serving other devotees who are connected to the spiritual master. So this is very practical. Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
even if one has to take something on his own, like there was this. You must have heard this example of a couple disciple of Ramanujacharya, where this lady was willing to even uh, let let a man play with her chastity, so that she can serve on behalf of her husband, so that she can serve the guru and so many other devotees who had come for the yatra. So that's a brilliant example. Actually. So there are so many such examples. We have to see the spirit and just follow in the footsteps in our capacity in the in our life. So not exactly the imitation. So but Ishwar Puri is one of the, and Ishwar Puri pleased his spiritual master so much that Krishna was pleased so much that Krishna decided I'll be his disciple. I want to serve this guy. Ishwarapuri. That is why he became disciple of Ishwarapuri. This is given by Narottam Das Thakur and Bhaktivedanta. This is explained very beautiful. ईश्वरपुरी के धन्य कुरी लेना श्री चैतन्य. This is in that song, Parampara song. Anyway, I think we should close here.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Prabhuji, we can share reflections on the WhatsApp group. If you are okay, we can take two reflections just to close. If any devotee wants to, if a devotee has any
Yes.
burning question or reflection, maybe just two. Hare Krishna devotees, you can unmute yourself and go ahead.
Okay, I guess that's all right.
Hare Krishna,
So,
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I have a question, but I don't want to ask it out. It might be long. So, is there a way? I don't think you are in the group. So, how can I ask that question?
We can be just quick here, or you can always text me also. There is no problem.
Okay, okay. Is it okay if I text you, Prabhu? It might be like a long question. So,
Sure, sure. We can talk also for few minutes. I mean, tomorrow, like my
yes, yes,
tomorrow.
yes, yes, Prabhu. Sure, sure, sure. Prabhu. And thank you so much for that wonderful class, Prabhu. As Kautukanam Prabhuji, like he summarized so well that you gave so many examples. It really helps drill down the idea of what it means to and how, like, what attitude one needs to keep to serve spiritual master and the Vaishnavas. Thank you so much for that, Prabhu.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are serving both Vapu and Vani of devotees. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hmm. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanand.
Jai. His Grace Achyut Mohan Prabhu ki Jai. Hari
Jai.
Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Hare.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Panchakilpatarupaniषत् कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.